Alright, okay. We need to talk about this, and no, I'm not talking about my shirt, though. It is pretty cool. But hey, I owned it before Tiger King became a thing. But now, of course, it does seem kind of topical. Too bad Tiger King isn't the thing I want to talk about today, huh? Could have probably have timed that better, but anyways, there was something I wanted to talk about, right? So, the other day I was just minding my own business, casually scrolling down Facebook, when suddenly an article caught my eye. Robin Hood getting live-action Disney Plus remake. Now, my first instinct was probably the same as everyone else's when they see another Disney remake of a classic animated movie. Damn you, Disney, why do you have to ruin my childhood all the time? But then I calmed down and I thought, well, they can do whatever they want with their properties, and I'm probably gonna watch it anyways, like I have with all of the other ones. But then I thought a little bit more about it, and I suddenly came to a horrifying realization. How are they going to make the characters look? Now, the first live-action Disney remakes of animated movies we saw were the princess stories, both Cinderella and Maleficent, of course, a remake of Sleeping Beauty. These are all movies that are centered around human characters, as well as Aladdin, of course, and Jungle Book, which is centered around one human character, but still. But then they did a remake of Lion King, which in a lot of ways to a lot of people didn't make sense because Lion King is an animated film, and when they do a remake, they're just making hyper-realistic looking animals, but they're still animated. So what is the difference? And there wasn't really a difference. The movies were pretty much the same, except there was a lot of charm that was lost in the live-action remake of Lion King. But Lion King kinda worked in the live-action remake. They were still lions doing lion things and stuff. So when you think of Robin Hood, you might remember that he is obviously a fox, and Little John is a bear, and Prince John is a lion and stuff. So that makes sense. It should just be like Lion King, right? But no! Robin Hood is different from Lion King in that in Robin Hood, the animals aren't animals. They look like animals, but they don't do animal things. They wear clothes. They shoot with a bow and arrow. That's not animal things. They're practically just humans looking like animals. It's the old funny animals thing. It's more like Mickey Mouse or a Donald Duck. So making a live action Robin Hood would be more akin to making a live action Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or Goofy than to making a live action Lion King. So, how are they going to make a live-action Robin Hood? I read this article from Nerdist, and they say at some point... Let me just find it here. According to the original report, this will again feature the characters as animals, only this time they will be brought to life via a live-action CG hybrid format. Now, that sentence may not mean a lot to everyone, but to me, that kinda reminds me of another film. And not in a good way. Yeah! I really fucking hope they don't give Robin Hood the Cats treatment. Oh my fucking god, that would be terrible. Cats is already a nightmarish hellscape to look at. This wouldn't be any better. Maybe Disney would put more money into it because they thought they could make more money from it, but I don't think they're gonna do that. They're gonna make it for like a straight to Disney Plus movie. So it's they're probably giving Robin Hood less money than they would if it was going into theaters, which means it would look exactly like Cats. I mean, what the fuck? How do you look at this and think, you know what? Everyone on the internet was talking about that. Let's do that. Yeah. Everyone on the internet was talking about Cats because it was horrifying and they couldn't sleep. They didn't talk about it because they thought, well, let's make every movie like this now. This is amazing. No! Cats was an obvious Oscar bait movie with big stars and an acclaimed director and a Broadway play which has been running for, I don't know, way too long, but it didn't get any awards. People ignored it totally during award season because it looked bad. Doing Robin Hood, I think if you're not doing it like the old way, like an anthropomorphized animal animation kind of way, where you're not really thinking about them as animals, then that makes sense in a way. It can even work in CG, like with something like Zootopia, I guess. But I feel like it doesn't. Robin Hood doesn't have to be animals, but the old Disney version is. It's. I'm racking my brain as to what would be the right thing to do. This is an old story, and there has been a lot of takes on Robin Hood. Like, there's been a ton of live action versions of Robin Hood. Even like last year, I think there was one with, what's his name, Taron Egerton. Is that who? Let me just Google that for you. Oh, it wasn't last year. It was 2018. But yeah, not last year, but the year before, 2018. There was the Robin Hood movie with Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx. But yeah, the Disney version does, like, people remember that one because that was different, because they were animals. But there's no reason for them to be animals, though. So if you want to tell the story with them being animals, I think it would make more sense to just, like, make them animals. So make it an actual fox. Like, make it the hyper-realistic looking animals, like Lion King, and not, like, just make it a fox with a hat. And then that's just it. Like, just make them look like real animals, doing animal things, behaving like animals, and then just make them act out a Robin Hood. I don't know, man. This is so weird. This whole thing just seems so bizarre. Why would you do this? I know Robin Hood is from the so-called lost years at Disney after Walt had died and before the Renaissance with, like, The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and such. So it's not really one of the most beloved Disney tales. So in that regard, it wouldn't tarnish much of a reputation, because Robin Hood is not one of the big sellers, I guess, for Disney. But there are a lot of people who have fond memories of this film. I watched it a lot as a kid. This was one of the films we had on VHS, and we would watch it all the time. And I still quote the movie to this day. But I feel like we can't stop them. Maybe Disney just saw what happened with Cats and Sonic and thought, well, we can get a lot of publicity out of this. But I feel like that's a bad strategy. I can't wrap my head around this. This is just such a bad idea. I just had to talk about this because I can't fathom why they would do this. Why Disney? Anyways, I'm gonna go lie down and try not to have nightmares of a live action CG hybrid Robin Hood. Oh my god. But anyways, I think that was pretty much all I had for today. Well, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care and so long.